Well, I think we really need the federal government to think about extending JobKeeper for these industries that are doing it tough. There's about, from memory, around 10,000 businesses here in the tropical north that are on JobKeeper at the moment, and that's going to have a huge impact on employment, especially when JobKeeper ends at the end of March. So, look, we understand a lot of businesses are back on their feet, but there are some industries that aren't. So what we're asking for is a helping hand during this hour of need.
Some of the operators we spoke to yesterday said that they wanted a more greater consensus from all the states on managing hotspots just to give travel a bit more confidence. What do you see as the biggest barrier to achieving?
Yeah, well, I spoke to the people who attended yesterday at length, and one of the things I mentioned was when we declared that greater Brisbane region, I actually asked National Cabinet because we were declaring it a hotspot for everyone else to declare it a hotspot, which is basically what everyone else did. We have to be very vigilant at the moment in terms of the UK variant strain of COVID. We are very concerned about that. But other than that, I think you'll see a lot more collective response from premiers and first ministers to try and get this right. I really do. And as we've seen, the hotspot program has been working quite well.
Premier, how significant will this reopening be for the Cairns tourism industry?
It's going to be phenomenal. I honestly do believe that there's going to be a lot of people in that Greater Sydney region that want to come back and see family and friends. And there's a lot of people who haven't actually been up to Cairns in the tropical north, and also the Whitsundays. We can't forget the Whitsundays. The Whitsundays is doing it tough as well. So I honestly think there's great opportunities. Hop on, Google, check out everything that Cairns and the Whitsundays has to offer, and you'll find something there for everyone.
How critical aviation support is
Yes.
for the sector's recovery? London and Virgin scrapped 350 jobs from Brisbane alone.
Well, we are, of course, always concerned about job losses, but what we have seen with Qantas is that the Brisbane to Cairns route is one of the busiest in the country. So let's get that Sydney to Cairns happening again, and of course we want to welcome more Victorians up here as well. So I think now's a good time that people can actually put in place some travel plans. We've got very strict quarantine that's happening at the moment, so I just think now is a great opportunity to start making those plans, especially around the Easter holidays.
And yeah, do you know that Virgin is losing jobs after that lengthy administration process?
Look, it is always sad when that happens, but when you have a private company that takes over, they're decisions that they make to make sure that their business is sustainable. Yeah. Yes. Let's just see if there's any more questions, local questions.
Yeah, what would prompt the borders to be closed again?
Well, I think everyone would know that if there was an outbreak of that UK variant strain, that I think like we did in Greater Brisbane, where we had to shut down immediately. But fingers crossed, that won't happen.
Given in New South Wales you had 10 days of zero community transmission, why did you change the rules from the previous?
No, we haven't ignored the rules at all. And in fact, Dr. Young is very confident that she's had discussions with the Chief Health Officer in New South Wales, and those cases can be related back to those original clusters. So she is very confident that the 28 days has been met.
And the
Yes.
next offender in the Alexander Hills public fatality was allegedly out on bail on unrelated offences. Does that concern you?
Look, as I said yesterday, what happened to Kate and Matthew is an absolute tragedy. No one should go out for a walk and not return home. I mean, this has affected everybody. Everyone goes out for a walk with their family or friends. It's horrific, and we want answers. The family wants answers, the community wants answers, and I want answers.
Hamia, do you think the bail laws need to be tightened in Queensland?
If they need to be tightened and strengthened, of course we will do that. But last year, we tightened up those laws where there was a presumption against bail. We tightened those laws. So there's questions that need to be asked about why those laws weren't adhered to.
Have you spoken to the families at all?
I haven't had the opportunity to speak to the family, but I have passed on to Don Brown, the local member who knows the family, my personal condolences.
Can I ask another question? Reporting is alleging that a brief of evidence was sat with the GPP for a year without being actioned. Can you comment on that?
In relation to?
The death of Toya Fortinley 2 years ago on Getty Beach.
Oh, look, I'm not aware of that. That's a matter for the DPP, so I'm happy to follow that up with the Attorney General.